All right, you gotta love that transition. I've been practicing my transitions. It's the Luma wipe thingy. I mean, maybe you love it, maybe you hate it. But anyway, welcome everyone to episode 7 of season 2. Yes, Star Trek Valhalla is back for 2 weeks in a row. Super excited to be here. Will we go for a hat trick? That's a sport reference. I don't actually sport. I can't even say it right. Sports. I was like sport. It's a sport reference. I can't even say it right. But anyway, welcome to episode 7 entitled Low Gravity with the delightfully intrepid crew of the Ragnar. This is, of course, Star Trek Valhalla, and I am, of course, Dare Wolf. But as is tradition, we're just going to go around the table, have everyone introduce themselves, say who they are playing, and one thing they're great. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to say what they're grateful for. Nobody cares. No, I'm kidding. Let's go around the table here. We're going to go Brian Sidereal Day, who is not in the right location. Apparently, I totally screwed up. See, remember how earlier I was like, I'm not going to mess anything up? Yeah, Symbol and Sidereal Day are in the wrong places. So, yeah, here we are. We're fixing it. And now we're good. All right, so everyone's in the right place here. Super professional streamer. Gentlemen, lady, please take it away.
Hello, I am Brian. I'm at MindOverBrian on both Twitter and on Twitch, although on Twitch I spell it with a 0. And I'm playing Captain Asbatreso, our Betazoid captain who has forsworn his telepathic gifts.
Good evening, I'm Sidereal Day, and I am playing Commander Ajay Shahira, our Bajoran First Officer and Chief Medical Officer.
Hello, I'm Charles, and I'm playing Ensign Zed, our Ferengi Chief of Security and Operations Officer.
I am Symbol. I'm playing Lieutenant Alden Paris, Science Officer of the Ragnar, and namesake of the Paris family.
I am Drubaka, and I am playing Lieutenant Commander Krev Glash, the Tellarite Chief Engineer of the Ragnar.
And of course, as previously stated, I am Dare Wolf, the Game Master, and as always, I'm super excited to be here. We have an opening log today by none other than one Ensign Zed. Ensign Zed, if you'd like to take it away, please do so.
Definitely. Personal log, stardate 4078552.82. I am pleased to report that after a most agreeable period of shore leave on the resort planet of Amorosa 5, the Ragnar has returned to the unsurveyed regions of the Shackleton Expanse to continue our mission of exploration. While the shore leave was much needed and did a wonderful job of bolstering the crew's morale, the prospect of discovering strange new worlds and encountering never before seen life forms sets my lobes tingling with excitement. This is the very reason that I joined Starfleet. Yet, as we journey deeper into the Shackleton Expanse, we continue to encounter the unexpected. While traveling at warp speed, the USS Ragnar has experienced a sudden collapse of its warp bubble, causing the ship to unexpectedly drop out of warp. A small Class M planet has appeared on our sensors nearby. Scans indicate that the planet is surrounded by some kind of energy field that appears to affect warp travel. We have been unable to determine whether or not this is a natural phenomenon or whether this is due to some mechanism of alien construction. But the only way to find out is to beam down to the planet and investigate. This will be one of my first true planet-side away missions, and as Chief of Security, the safety of the away team will be my first priority. Although I do confess, it will be difficult to avoid being distracted by the opportunity to explore an uncharted world. But I will remain focused. Captain Traso has put his trust in me, and I won't let him down. End personal log.
Absolutely delightful. You know what? For that personal log, you may have 2 momentum plus 1 just because you're the heart of this crew. So you may have 3 momentum, which I believe you already have in-game as well. So we open our scene. Now, my question to the crew is, did you want to transport down to the planet, or are you planning to take a shuttlecraft down to the planet?
A transport, obviously.
I love transporting.
Beautiful. So we open our scene with a view of the away team, the blue beams that we see them all materialize on a mostly orange, slightly dusty, but there are the occasional bits of shrubbery, some low vegetation. in the clouds above, you see these kind of gray, not gray, I would say, more of this kind of tan-colored clouds that seem to kind of be swirling. Looks almost like a quarter of a hurricane, but it's not. There's not a whole lot of wind, just a little bit of dust, the occasional little, what's the little, like, bushes that tumbleweeds? That's the one, tumbleweeds rolling along. And we see the crew appear. Now, you all had been traveling at warp. You had been, everything had been all fine and dandy. And then the warp bubble collapsed. The ship was kind of tossed around in subspace for a second, or in space, excuse me. And then instantaneously, Paris, you picked up this Class M planet in this strange, unknown disruption field of some sort. And it's because of the way that it is disrupting both warp travel as well as sensors, the only way to get a true understanding of what it is was to, as mentioned, transport down to the planet. So you find yourselves here on the planet's surface. The air is somewhat stale. It kind of tastes like, if you've ever smelt kind of like old stale bread, that's what the air tastes like. Have you ever bitten into a dry piece of toast, like it's been sitting out too long? That's what the air tastes like. It's not bad, but it's definitely not good. So I leave the scene to all of you to begin your exploration and investigation of this unknown planet.
Tricorder comes out immediately.
Oh yeah.
Yep, same.
Yep, exactly.
Well, I'll admit that I had hoped that my first away mission in a few years would be more pleasant than this.
Oh, Captain, I find it to be very pleasant. Why, it actually, it's the air smells and tastes like, well, like the bread that I prefer. A bit aged.
Remind me never to eat Ferengi bread.
Oh, don't worry. Seeing it will remind you not to eat Ferengi bread.
Good point, Captain.
It's
No
the
offense,
Beatles.
Benson.
It's the Beatles.
Yes,
No, like
it
the
is
Beatles,
mostly
the Beatles is fine. It's
insect-based.
crunchy, it's juicy. They have like a certain texture. It's fine. The flavor, you get used to it, but I don't know, like that bread, no. Who ages a bread for 90 days?
Ferengi.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
180 is more preferable.
Oh,
Ugh. Oh,
God.
ugh.
Ooh. All right. Sorry. Yes. There's a reason why we're here, right? Yes. Mhm.
Yes.
Zed will scan the immediate vicinity, making sure that there's no life signs. Although I believe the ship sensors already told us they didn't detect.
There were no life signs. That's a great question. There were no life signs save for small rodents, maybe the occasional purred animal. There didn't appear to be any intelligent life on the planet, as far as you can tell.
Were
Is anybody
there
getting any power sources?
Ooh, your sensors couldn't tell if there was any power sources on the planet, but now that you're planet side, if someone would like to make a control science, you are absolutely welcome to do so.
Is there a difficulty?
The difficulty on this is going to be difficulty of 2, and Bandit Hazard just gave you a free momentum. He did do the player spend, so yes, that is Zeb helping you guys out here. So if you want to use that free momentum to roll 3 dice, you're welcome to do so.
Go for it.
Control. Science. Yeah. That's 4 dice. Focus.
You're using 4 dice?
Isn't that? Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to make sure. He's ready to go. I love it.
I just need to track how much momentum I'm spending.
Improvisation or quantum mechanics? No.
You know what? It's the power source, the readings that you're trying to make, because there is disturbance, I'd say you do have to modify the scanner. You have to modify your tricorder a little bit to break through the interference. So I'll allow you to use improvisation. I absolutely will.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a stretch, but I like you.
Oh.
Not as much as Zed, though.
I like your gumption, kid.
Yeah. I like you go.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. That's 2 momentum back, which is fantastic. So, Lieutenant Paris, you begin scanning with your tricorder. It's giving you strange readings. It's as though it cannot push past whatever this strange energy field is, and it does appear to also be affecting the actual ground, the actual planet side itself. It's not just a dome, but it is as though it is a sphere that is encapsulating the sphere that is the planet, if that imagery makes sense to you. But you manage to modify your tricorder. You maybe go over to Zed and take his, and you kind of bump them together, and then it's just like you shake it, and then you start to get a scanning. And as you're scanning outward, you pick up the occasional small rodents. There's a little bit of like background radiation, nothing to be worried about. You don't need any suits. And then, well, that's interesting. You pick up what appears to be a small little, I would describe it as a power source that looks to be like a bank of car batteries. So it is very, very weak compared to a warp core or the engine aboard a shuttlecraft. This looks to be very old, and it looks to be very basic. It's registering as like 12 volt is what you're picking up. Like someone took, again, a bunch of car batteries, strung them together to try to make a bigger battery to do something with. It's about 1 kilometer due east, if, you know, just based on the cardinal direction. So east from your position.
And I relay information due east, like picking up what seems to be some form of power source from the readings. It is old / very weak. So whatever we find there is not going to be the real source of what's going on here, I'm guessing, but it's a start.
Nothing else on scans?
Nothing of importance, no.
All right. Well, looks like we're in for a hike, everybody.
Captain Tradesu, as you mentioned nothing else on scans, you feel something tugging. At your pant leg. You look down to see what appears to be a tiny mouse-like creature. Kind of looks like a marsupial. It has 4 fingers and thumbs. It's got a very long, elongated nose that ends in a little claw. It's got a little claw, and it's got that claw, and it's just kind of like gently pecking at your pant leg, and its little hands, it's no bigger than a house cat, about half the size of your standard house cat, and it just is curiously like nuzzling at you and trying to like claw, and it actually catches a bit of your pant leg, and you see a little thread start to come out, and then it lets out a little kind of noise as though it's excited.
Aw, made a new friend, Captain.
So it would seem.
It's so cute. Can we take it with us, Captain?
Well, we should probably not take it with us, but I'm certainly not going to stop it from following us.
It appears
if you guys want to get started, I'll catch up as soon as it loses interest.
It appears it has no fear of predators, or at least it doesn't see us as such.
Boots scans it to see if it is edible.
Boots. Yeah, it's edible.
It looks tasty, Captain.
You can't eat it. It's too cute.
Yeah, but cute tastes so good. Have you never eaten anything cute before?
Just Boots, Ensign, store the pattern in your tricorder, and you can replicate one later. Leave the real ones.
The small little creature with this little hook on the end of its nose grabs onto the thread that it broke free of your pants and starts to pull on it, one after another, and then just starts doing this. And you watch as your pant leg, there's a thread that starts to travel up, gets halfway up to your knee. It stops. It's got a little bundle of string. It looks at you, takes its nose and cuts the string, and then scurries off towards the north, away from you.
No, come back.
And it's gone. It's gone.
Oh.
Starfleet clothing doesn't work like that. How did it do that?
These are pants my brother made.
Oh, okay.
They're more comfortable than the standard issue pants.
That being said, how did it know to do that?
I mean, this seems like our least important.
Captain, this is.
Well, I'll tell you what.
is-
The engineering ensign and I will head towards the power signatures if you science people want to investigate this this phenomena.
You science? I'm alone, Captain.
Sorry, I just assumed the operations officer would also be interested in the science. Unless,
Yeah, I've this thing is weird.
Ensign Mattia, or Matilla? Matania. Ensign Matania.
Matana.
As you are looking towards the direction the creature came, you see that it kind of ran up and over a little, like just a little mound, and it seemed to dive over it. You see another one, different color. The first one had like brown fur. It was covered in fur. First, like a black one with black fur pops up. Then a white one. Then another brown one. And then two more pop up. One has like bright red fur, and the other one seems to have like a dark green fur. And they're all just watching you from the hill, crouched low. They're little like people like looking hands on the edge, little hook noses like buried into the dirt, and they're just watching you with they seem very intrigued.
It has friends.
Captain,
That's not creepy
All
at
right,
all.
we're getting a little too distracted by the local fauna. Let's start hoofing it towards the power signatures.
Yes, Captain.
however, Captain, we are here to document the all aspects of this strange new world.
Oh, you know what, Ensign, you are perfect. You are absolutely right. Would you and Lieutenant Paris like to stick around and catalog some of this fauna while I take the Ensign Matana with me to investigate this power signature?
If you would not object, Captain, I would like to come with you to the battery,
Well,
or what appear to be the batteries.
somebody should stick around and.
I can stay here with Lieutenant Paris, Captain.
All right, thanks, Boots.
Or
Alrighty.
Captain, or Ensign Paris.
It seems
Or Lieutenant. Yeah.
Ips.
He's distracted by the cute thing that he wants to eat.
Like I get the joke. I understand. I'm sorry. I made
I love
made
it.
the
So
reference.
just so that the game master understands, we've got the captain, we've got Ensign Zed, and then I believe it was Matana that's heading off to the battery. Is that correct? Brilliant.
Yes.
All right.
Unless the captain will stop and be like, Ensign, if you are interested in investigating the local fauna, you're welcome to stay as well. I have more than enough engineering expertise.
No, it's okay, Captain. I should go with you and do my job. I might not be part of Team Awesome, but I can still be a good engineer.
You just look so pained.
It's okay, Captain.
All right.
So I'd like to stick with Lieutenant Paris, Captain Paris, Ensign Paris, I don't know, all of these things. I'd like to stick with Lieutenant Paris and Boots for a few moments. So these creatures watch as three of you, these little tiny marsupial-like creatures watch as three of you head off towards the east, towards the direction of this 12-volt battery bank that you're traveling towards. And then as you all just move kind of up a little bit of an embankment, down a hill, and then disappear behind that hill, all of their heads in unison turn back to Boots and Lieutenant Paris, and they're just watching you with just this, what appears to be great curiosity in this moment. They're just watching. They don't know, you don't know what they want, you don't know what they're doing, but they're just watching you right now.
First things first, I'm gonna try and scan and see how many there are.
Excellent. Go ahead and make a scan. So you're going to make two scans. You're going to make an initial scan to get a bio reading of these creatures. That will be a difficulty of 3. That will be a control and medicine. Control medicine to get a biosignature of them. Difficulty of 3. Once you do that, to scan how many they are, it will be a control science. Difficulty of 2.
All right. Because I barely know what I'm doing in medicine, I'm gonna vote the improvisation. Focus again.
I think that, yeah, 100%. Right.
What's the difficulty on this
Biology.
one?
I know that people have the bios. I don't know. It's fine. You'll be good.
What's the difficulty for the
3.
first one?
Difficulty
The
3.
medical? 3. You said. I'll use the remaining momentum if you don't mind to bump that up to 4 dice because I don't have a lot of dice. I don't have a lot of medicine.
It's okay. We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
Well, now.
Ooh, gets a nice momentum back. Ooh, voila. Beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. So you begin your scan. A couple of things that you pick up. Now, obviously, Lieutenant Paris, you're no doctor. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you're no doctor, but you are a man of science.
I am a doctor in stellar cartography.
You're a man of science.
Just not
you have a doctorate.
Medicine.
But medicine is science, so basically you're a doctor, is what you're saying. So, perfect. So, what I'm trying to get at here is that you scan them. Now, a couple of things stand out to you, even though you're not, as you mentioned, a doctor of medicine. These creatures have 3 hearts, and they have the muscle density of a creature 10 times their size, so they are extremely strong based on what you're registering here. So, like they could probably lift a shuttlecraft. If you got like 10 of them together, they could lift a shuttlecraft. And mind you, they're the size of a house cat. So it's a very strange creature. What you're realizing with the scan is that these creatures have in some way and somehow they have adapted to whatever this radiation, this like minute background radiation, for it to affect the members of the crew, the away team, it would take months on the planet to start showing any signs. But they seem to have adapted, and it seems to have likely transformed them in some way to become... Maybe the reason they're not afraid is because they're the apex. Now for your second roll. This is a control science to figure out how many there are.
Difficulty on that one?
Difficulty 2.
I will use the momentum, but I'll also give you 2 threat.
You're giving me 2 threat. I just want to make sure that I understand, Lieutenant Paris, that you're giving me 2 threat to play around with. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep. You only
Absolutely
have 6.
fantastic.
We know this.
I have 10 to start with. I get 2 per player, so I have 12 now. Thank you very much.
2 more, 2 less.
Voila.
But this is so that I can re-roll on both sides.
It's fine. It's fine.
Unfortunately, this time there is no applicable focus unless you really start.
You are spending that momentum, though, yeah?
Yes.
Beautiful.
So,
it's beautiful. You get 2 momentum right back. So,
and I'm gonna re-roll 1 because I can.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't you? Maybe it'll be a complication.
Science.
I love where your mind's at. I love what's happening here. I love everything about it. It's okay.
No.
Okay. I have good news and I have bad news. Which would you like first?
So that's 2 momentum, though.
Yeah. Which would you like first? Good news or the bad news?
Oh, always the bad news.
Okay. Here's the bad news. You watch as you begin the scan, as you've been very focused. You realize as you begin the scan that it's not just the 6 that you see on the bluff there. There's about 100 to the left. There's about 150 behind you. And behind the 6 over there, there's about 60 additional. That's the bad news. You know what the good news is? They're not on top of you yet. But you hear this scream. It's kind of like a chittering sound, like a... And they all start shouting and screaming. And then you watch and you can kind of hear this. It sounds like if you've ever seen a show where like a giant worm is like burrowing underground, you hear what sounds like a bunch of these creatures burrowing towards you. And you realize with your scan that those 6 on the ridge, they were just distracting you. Because a literal horde of them pop up about 30 feet from your position. And those little cute little faces, yeah, they're bearing horrific, horrendous razor-sharp teeth. And they look hungry. What would you like to do?
Boots, run! And I book it.
Run! And just a whole horde of these things crawling over each other, punching each other out of the way, come rushing towards you guys, and you guys take off at a full sprint, like frickin'
As soon as Boots takes off, he's gonna hit his comm badge. Captain, there's hundreds of these things, and they're all really pissed off and coming for us. I don't want to be the guy in the red shirt that gets taken out by the monster.
Oh, muted.
Muted.
As is tradition. Boots, I also don't want you to be the guy in the red shirt who gets taken out by the monster, but I'll point out that I'm the only person in a red shirt other than you. So
Boots is in a red shirt.
the only other person in a red shirt is me.
That's right. My bad.
Captain, these are the apex predators. They're hungry.
Guys, widespread phasers on stun. Put them on the lowest level. We don't need to kill these things. We just need to knock them out for a second.
There's a legion of them. Phasers won't be enough.
Why are you arguing with me over comms? Keep running.
I am running.
Boots pulls his phaser and puts it on wide spread stun.
Oh yeah.
So
the captain says to the people who he's actually with, all right, everyone, phasers on wide beam, and let's put them on 2, just in case.
I love it. I love where your mind's at. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to pivot over to Captain Traso, Ensign Zed, and the good Ensign Matina. We're gonna go over to Arlen, all right? Ensign Arlen. And we're gonna go over to her and them. And you've just gotten this, comm request from the rest of the away crew, the away mission. And you're actually right up close. You're within about 50 feet of where this battery bank is. And a couple of things that so maybe Captain Tracer, you've been on your badge, you've been talking with Lieutenant Paris and Ensign Boots. You're having this comical back and forth. And Ensign Zed and Ensign Arlen, because your first name is too hard to say because words are hard, but Ensign Arlen and Ensign Zed, you all have, and again, there's this crater, and it seems to be that the battery bank is just over the crater, and it looks like it was an impact of some sort, like a large object of some sort impacted into the ground. A couple of things you've also noticed: you see what looks to be a long trench, and you're Starfleet officers, you're intelligent. This looks like a crash landing. Looks like a crash site, more than likely, is what you're picking up on. So perhaps as you got to the edge of this crater-like embankment, looked over, you look down, and you see what looks to be kind of like a makeshift camp. There are barrels and boxes of unknown substance, and they look alien, that have been built around a kind of like a little like fort wall. You see this alien ship, heavily rusted. Looks like the panels and plating were ripped off of it. You see what looks to be some cots. There's some different types of supplies, some open containers and crates. It looks to be, at this point, an abandoned camp of some sort. Likely whoever this crew was, they crashed here and tried to make a go of it, and whatever happened. But you do not see, nor if you use your tricorders are you picking up any life signs. The only thing you're picking up is just inside it's really more of just like a frame. It almost kind of looks like if you've ever seen a burned out car, you can just see the skeleton of the car. That's really what the ship looks like, save for a couple of panels on top. So maybe, they could get under it and get out of the elements if it was raining or something. But this is what you see on the other side. So I'd like to follow you along here just for a few moments as Lieutenant Paris and Boots are running for their literal lives as this horde of adorable marsupials comes charging toward them with their razor-sharp teeth. But, what do you guys want to do right now?
Captain, should we alert the transporter rooms to be on standby in case, in the event that Lieutenant Paris and Lieutenant Boots, is it Lieutenant or Ensign Boots?
He's a Master Chief Petty Officer.
Oh, and Boots are overrun by these creatures?
We are of a mind, Ensign. I was just thinking the same thing. I don't know why they called us and not the transporter room, honestly.
I'll take care of it, sir. And Zed will, tap his comm badge and give
Ensign
the orders
Zed.
for them to.
Ensign Zed, your badge chirps, but no one responds.
Captain, I believe there's some sort of interference. I'm unable to contact the Ragnar.
What's inconvenient? Not one to look a gift fortification in the mouth. The captain takes a knee behind one of the banks of dirt and just sort of aims his hand phaser, and he's like, "Well, we'll just have to improvise. We don't have time to panic yet."
Yes, Captain.
I'll try and figure out if I can get through. Maybe if I use this battery thing.
Good idea.
So I would like to, I guess, go examine the battery.
So you're going to move down into the base camp, as it were. Is that correct? Ensign Arlen?
How far from it are we again?
You're about 100 feet from it. You have to travel up a steep incline, a steep slope. It's like an impact. There's a crater. It looks like they use the crater to kind of create a little wall area.
I thought we were close. For some reason, I thought we were closer. No, I'm not going to go
not
closer
100
then.
feet. Okay.
No.
Perfect. Done. No.
So
you guys are just
not
gonna
when
wait.
we're about to be swarmed.
Beautiful. So a couple things happen. You guys look towards the direction, towards the west, and you see a kitty cat man, Master Chief Boots, and you see Lieutenant Paris running, and you can see this dust cloud behind them. You can see this dust cloud behind them, and you can just barely make out razor-sharp, shiny white teeth and these adorable little, noses, and they're running. They're running. A couple things happen. Lieutenant Paris, Master Chief Boots, I need you both to give me a quick check. Fitness security, difficulty of 1. Oh, there we go. Boots is a badass. There it is. Love it.
Ow. Boots is hissing.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. So both of you managed to outpace the weird, hungry marsupials, right? You are just running your pants off. You've done a full mile, a full kilometer, jog, just like a full dead sprint. Just blasting your phaser over your shoulders, just hoping for the best. You notice that your phasers, as they strike them, don't seem to really do too much. They knock a couple out, but these things, as I mentioned, have the muscle density of a creature 10 times their size, and they're very angry. But here's the good news. As you get right up over the embankment of this crash site, so you're on the inside of that kind of crater-like rise, the marsupials come to a dead stop about 100 feet. So you guys are on the edge of this crash site. The base camp is about 100 feet behind you. Marsupials come to a dead stop about 100 feet in the opposite direction. So you guys are right in the middle of those two locations, the horde of adorable flesh-eating marsupials, and then this base camp. A couple things happen. You watch. Perhaps somebody has their tricorder out. Perhaps they don't. But one of the tricorders, whoever's tricorder was locked on to this 12-volt battery bank.
Mine.
So, Ensign Arlen, your tricorder starts to go off. This battery bank starts to get more powerful. You actually pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You pick up a dozen similar battery banks that appear to be positioned equal distance, about 100 feet out from your position. So they're like in a circle around you. They pick up, and you watch as these little prongs come up out of the ground every 10 feet. So you've got the circle that is the crash site. You've got this edge where there are these marsupials. And the edge where these marsupials are, you watch as these little tiny spikes with a big kind of gray-looking globe, little ball on the top, pop out of the ground. The marsupials stop, and as these spikes come out every 10 feet or so, you watch as this crackle of energy starts to flow across them. One of the marsupials gets very close to it. Its nose, its little nose spike, just barely touches it, and there is a zap, and it goes flying backwards. It's almost comical. You like see its skeleton for a second, and it goes motionless. The rest of the marsupials back away. They're letting out this, and they're letting out these noises. They seem angry and upset. However, that one that was electrocuted slowly gets up and lets out this much deeper kind of like and as it makes that noise, all of the marsupials start to burrow into the ground, and you watch as this dust storm starts to move off towards the north and then pivot back towards the west as though they are giving up the chase. This wall, this electric fence that had popped up, stays active for another 30 seconds. Then, Ensign Arlen, you watch as this battery bank start to shut down, and then the battery bank in the center of this base also seems to be a little bit weaker. So if it was like a 12-volt bank of, say, a dozen batteries, it's down to the power of about 10 batteries at this point. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's where we're at.
Wow.
Well done, Ensign Arlen.
I didn't do anything. The battery reacted on its own to those creatures. Captain, please, can we go take a look at it? Please, 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 please.
So,
I don't think we have any choice.
Tesla go. And it's the battery's gonna run out. We have to.
Deep breaths, my friend.
Yeah, he's still like shooting his phaser into the crowd.
Ensign Arlen and I head over and take a look at the battery bank.
In through the nose, out through the mouth.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
His tail's all puffed up.
Absolutely beautiful. He's just continuing to phaser, and the captain just ignores you, just discharging a weapon, just aimlessly. Love that. Love that. So, Captain Treso and Ensign Arlen.
Yes.
Anyone else want to go with them?
I'll catch up in a minute when I'm not
just catching your breath. I like that.
Yeah, same.
Zed?
Zed's gonna wait with Paris to catch his breath and make sure the marsupials don't return, and then head in with.
I love it. So we're gonna watch as the good ensign and the captain make their way over to this crash site. So a couple things. The ship itself, designed like nothing you've ever seen before, completely unknown. But what is maybe disconcerting, as you get closer, you notice that there are a couple of low, like little mounds of dirt. And you see that there are these stakes that have been stuck into the ground at their heads. They look like graves. And you count 5 of them. Count 5 graves. All neatly dug in a row. There are these metal spikes with these plates that have been welded to them, and there's an alien writing on them that you can only presume would likely be the names of whoever these deceased are. Mm-hmm. As you get close to the actual ship where this battery bank is, there is a kind of like a spark, and you watch as a number of these very dim but illuminated lights start to kick on. So there was some sort of motion sensor that kicks on, and you watch as you get close to it that it kicks on. And as you're about 5 feet from the entrance that would lead into this ship, now the ship itself is about the size of a it's not
Runabout?
The runabout. It's about the size of a runabout. Thank you. So you're going in like the side door of it. It's about the size of a runabout. As you get close, you start to hear a recording or someone's voice. It sounds like a recording because it's kind of like kind of noise is what you're hearing. And you hear this deep, it almost sounds reptilian. This crackling sound that's always playing. So whoever recorded this was likely, using the last bit of its power. But as you get close, you see this glow, and there is this kind of holographic display. So maybe you step inside the door, you look towards what would be the bridge, you see this little holographic, it's just the upper torso, someone recording themselves. And what you see is this dark, kind of yellowish green looking reptilian creature. And he is recording. And you see he looks... It's hard to tell because you don't recognize the species, but he looks tired. He even looks maybe perhaps even a little emaciated. But he speaks, and his voice is raspy and exhausted. This is Commander Ozo Trefu. This is likely my last recording. The rest of my crew, my brood, they have all died. All attempts to locate the source of the disturbance, to get ourselves off of this planet, have failed. The door is protected by those creatures. We have managed to erect a force field to protect ourselves. But we have run out of supplies. I will likely not be able to make another recording. Should you find this, should anyone come across this, you must reach the doorway. It is in the middle of their brood, the middle of their pack. It is as though they protect it. If you can get there, I truly believe that is the source of this phenomenon that stranded us on this planet. May the gods, both good and bad, bless you on your journeys. Goodbye. And Krozo, if you ever hear this, I love you. And then the recording ends.
Well, let's check the engine on this ship.
Okay.
Don't have a lot of hope for it, but
The engine, if there ever was one, long ago has been stripped for parts.
well, no help there.
Captain, do you think that recording was right about us having to go into the adorable not pets?
I mean, it's the best indication we've had so far.
Paris just walks in. Like, they're not adorable. They are not adorable.
They are so cute. They just also want to eat us.
I still want to eat them. Just
That is
saying.
going to be the toughest meat you'll ever eat. I'm sure of that.
He bears his fangs. I can handle it.
Oh, okay, everybody. Let's calm down. We're not going to be here long enough for it to be necessary for you to eat one of them, Master Chief. Well, what setting is your phaser on, Boots?
I have it on level 3.
It didn't seem to have you having much effect. Let's crank those to 6.
Maybe that vault thing that popped up seemed to have an effect. Maybe we can, I don't know, cobble together a portable version?
Some sort of electric
That's a good
discharge
idea.
machine?
Yeah.
I mean, we
it's
should be
a
able to
simple
cobble one
Tesla
of those together.
coil. We can jury rig something fairly easy, I'm sure.
Yes. And perhaps we could power it by one of our tricorders.
I mean, we have enough phasers. If you're going to use it as a weapon, you're going to want something more robust as far as power source.
Well, I will be glad to assist you if you require it.
Oh no, this is the ensign's idea. Don't let me take credit. I'm at her assistance.
Well, then we might as well use my phaser since it's my idea, so I should take responsibility, like the commander says. He always has to take responsibility for your ideas. So, my phaser. Okay. I guess this is where I start rolling. Yeah.
So what exactly, Ensign Arlen, are you looking to do?
Okay. So the electrical discharge that this system that they cobbled together puts off seems to have a significant effect on just one at a time. I would like to try and make more of a portable field so that we're protected as we move through them.
So, I think this is a great opportunity to do one of the... What's something we haven't done in a while? An extended task.
Oh,
An
no.
extended task. I think
Why
this
do
is a
I
I
always-
can't
great-
remember ever doing
great
ever
opportunity.
doing an
I
extended
did.
task.
I had the last one. That's why.
Yes.
We did
Wow.
one in like
Yep.
episode 4,
Yep.
like
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
been a
a
while.
long time ago.
It's been a while. I think it's a great opportunity to do one of the little used, I think, too often not used aspects of this game called an extended task. So this will be an extended task. So the way that extended tasks work, you've got your magnitude, your difficulty, work track, and the resistance. All right. So here's how this works. Difficulty is pretty straightforward. Difficulty is 3. That means that whatever I tell you have to roll to complete the task. So, a attribute, etc., like, science and medicine or whatever it may be, you have to roll 3 to make forward momentum. That's your difficulty. All right. Now, every time you get a success, you get to roll a number of d6s, so challenge dice, based on the amount of successes you get. So base success of 3 to actually complete the task, to get the difficulty. You get to roll 3d6, and that's how much progress you make. However, the task also has resistance, all right? And that's how much, let's say you rolled 3d6, you got 3 on the dice. You would only actually get 2 forward momentum because it's resisting you, okay? The
So it's
other
resistance
point,
1?
it's going to be resistance 1, exactly. So your magnitude on this, magnitude is going to be 3, difficulty 3, work track 15, resistance of 1.
Okay.
Now, every time you get 5 towards the work track, you have what's called a breakthrough. When you get a breakthrough, it reduces the forward difficulty by 1, the resistance by 1, and the magnitude by 1. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Is this all making sense?
And we need to get the
Yeah.
magnitude down to 0, right? So we need 3
Correct.
breakthroughs.
Correct. You
Yep,
need
okay.
3 breakthroughs to
Okay.
complete. You need to both complete the work track and get 3 breakthroughs. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Is everybody on the
Yep.
same page? All right. Has everybody got that written down? Thank you, Captain Tracer, for helping me out. This is why you're the Bri, the server mod guy. Love you, dude. You're amazing.
Mhm.
See this? I'm glad you reinstated. It was a dark time that 12 hours you weren't, but it's good. All right. So
Can
Go ahead.
anyone
absolutely,
assist Mitami?
you can assist. Absolutely, you can assist. Now,
Okay.
here's where things get a little dicey. For everyone that assists,
Literally.
everyone that assists, the resistance increases. Here's why. Because you are working with alien technology that you don't have a lot of time to really fully understand. When you get too many hands in the kitchen, things get a little crazy. Pots and pans start getting knocked over. So too many people trying to understand the technology is going to maybe make things a little crazy. All right. So
Wait,
it's
wait.
kind of a devil's bargain. Go ahead.
Are we using the alien technology, or are we just taking inspiration? Because I feel like we could just put together
If you want
a
to,
tricorder
that's your
and
call.
a
That's your call.
phaser. We could just hook those together and essentially create like a field
Yeah.
displacement similar to a
That
ship's,
matches what they're doing. Okay, so you're not actually using the other technology. All right, well, that makes sense. Then scrap everything else I was saying. Go wild. Everybody can help each other. All right, that's fine.
Okay.
Let
Like a
me
deflector
fuck with
shield.
you. Come on.
And then I guess my only question is, would reverse engineering count as a focus for this?
If you tell me that I'm beautiful,
You're
You're
very
beautiful.
beautiful.
then yes, it counts. Thank you. Thank you. I've been working out a little bit for 2 days.
It's the beard.
Oh, get out of here. Ah, you know what? You can have an extra momentum. I like you, Sidereal Day. You're good people. Yeah.
Oh,
Compliment your game master. He'll help you out. There you go. There it is. Like it. We have fun here. Go ahead.
Okay.
You
So
have not
what?
told us what
Yeah.
attribute and discipline we're rolling.
Yeah.
This is gonna be. I'm gonna go with reason. I'm gonna go control engineering.
seems reasonable.
Oh.
Control
Sensei.
engineering.
You know what? For that wonderful pun, you may also have an additional momentum. I'm feeling very benevolent tonight. I don't know what it is.
I'm gonna give that momentum right back so I can roll 3d20.
Yep, and I'm gonna spend 3 threats to say that you guys hear some of that chittering outside of the fence. And what it sounds like is that these creatures are probing the fence line. That battery bank that had 12 batteries and is down to 10, it clicks again, and now it's down to 8.
Cool. Okay.
While we three do the thing, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna roll for this. Yikes! Yikes!
Uh-oh.
Yikes!
I assist
I will also assist with my hand phasers.
with a focus on
yes.
team dynamics.
Doesn't that let her re-roll one of her dice?
No, I have a. That would be if we used cautious command.
Unfortunately. I'm gonna pocket that threat. I'm just gonna pocket
Okay.
it. I'll use it
Okay.
later.
Cool.
There you go. There you go, buddy.
Thank
There you
you.
go.
Thank
We all
you.
helped.
All right. So here's the good news. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hold on.
That is 5 successes
I'm helping
so far.
as well.
And so is reason engineering
Control engineering.
out
Control
of
it.
the...
Oh. He wants to know if he can use reason engineering.
No. You get the big no.
Because of my reasonable lobes.
Fuck it, go for it. That's funny too.
No, I just...
No, now you have to. And if you don't, I'll be upset.
Oh.
I got 12 threat. That says you better do it.
13 threat, I hear.
Excellent.
Ooh, 13, it's true, actually. I gotta take one more, thank you.
Mhm.
So yes, you hear this chittering, you hear them probing the edge. Beautiful. So that is
Alright,
1, 2,
6
3,
now.
4, 5, 6 successes, which means you'll be rolling 6 challenge die. 6 challenge die. Here's a cool thing too. With a extended task, when you have this momentum, so you actually currently have 3 momentum, okay? You can spend the momentum to lower the resistance. You can spend 1 momentum to lower the resistance by 1. So it's a 1-for-1 trade. So if you want to lower that 1 resistance to 0, you may do so by spending 1 momentum, or you can save that momentum to give yourself additional dice moving forward.
I'm gonna spend it to lower the momentum by the resistance.
So you guys would be up to 5 momentum at this point. And I need you to roll 6 challenge die.
I don't think for extended task you get momentum because you're essentially just adding challenge dice to the roll, so it doesn't matter what the difficulty is.
You still get the momentum, though. You can still get the momentum. Yeah, absolutely. At least I'm making that call right now.
Sure.
Okay. All right, so 6 d6s?
Yes.
Or is there a special way to roll challenge dice?
You
get the
you
challenge
actually
dice
have
button.
a challenge dice button.
It's in the macros.
there it
You'll
is.
need to
Yeah, I
add
see
them to
it.
the back of that.
Mm-hmm.
I know we
Okay.
haven't done this in a while. Forgive me.
Yeah.
All right, 5 for progress. The good news is that because you spent that momentum to lower the resistance, you get 5 progress. So we are now down to magnitude 2, difficulty goes down to 2, resistance is down to 0, and the work track is now 10. So Captain, if you could take care of that for me, that'd be great. And you only need 2 more breakthroughs.
Okay.
And 10 additional work track. Here's the bad news. The battery bank buzzes again. It was 8. It is down to 6. You actually hear both Lieutenant Paris and Lieutenant Commander Krev and Ensign Zed. You guys see a couple of these creatures have actually broken through the field. And you actually set your phasers to 6. 6 seems to do it. It knocks them out completely. I don't know if you want to disintegrate them quite yet, but you guys are kind of blasting your phasers, if I may kind of elaborate a little bit here, at these creatures as they're starting to make their way in. But so far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good.
Okay. I'm going to spend another momentum to roll 3 dice again.
I like where your mind's at. I believe.
And... Yay!
Ooh, there it is. So you have 1 floating momentum. That's just good. You can put that into your momentum pool again, which is great. And you are going to be rolling. On this one, you're only going to roll 3 challenge dice. However,
I'm assisting.
4.
that's 4 challenge dice. All right, that's good. That's good. That's good. Anyone else assisting?
Well, we're stuck outside shooting.
You're still shooting.
You know.
That's fair. That's fair.
Zed will assist.
No.
Aren't you
I didn't
shooting
go
too,
back
Zed?
in.
There's
Oh,
enough
Zed
that
is
you need to
shooting.
be shooting.
Oh, well, then Zed is shooting,
Yes.
of course. Yes.
All right. Okay. So
Zed
you're gonna roll
and Boots and-
4
and
challenge
4
dice.
challenge dice.
Now, here's a cool thing. You can spend momentum to roll additional challenge dice if you so choose. You want to spend that momentum that you got to roll an additional challenge die to roll.
Is it a 1-for-1?
1 for 1? Correct.
Then I will make a 1-for-1 trade.
Done. So that's 5 challenge dice again.
Technically, the difficulty is only 2, so you had 2 floating momentum there.
That's true. You did have 2. You could roll 6 if you want to spend both of them.
Sure.
Done. All right.
Let's roll 6
challenge
again.
dice. Let's go. Ooh, only gets 4. No breakthrough. So you're working as fast as your little blue hands can go. You are down to only needing 6 additional work track. However, you do need to make 2 additional breakthroughs to actually get the thing to work. All right. So imagine that
now
you're...
here's the other thing.
Yeah.
Every one above 5 gives us well, no, it's a talent, I think. Never mind.
Correct. So good news. You're almost there. You can see that it's starting to formulate. You've got this like circular, almost kind of looks like a little like a wheel. It's got spokes. You've got these little like you're like welding these little like tiny little balls onto it. Like you're putting this thing together. You've got your phaser, and it's like starting to spark a little bit, but it's not quite working the way that you want it to. It's like it'll spark, but it's not working quite right. So we got to go again. Go ahead and make your check. Let's go. I believe.
Control engineering.
By the way, you're
I'm gonna
down to 4. Down to 4 batteries.
Okay, I'm spending another momentum to roll 3
Love
d20
Love
again.
Love your minds out. Let's go.
Ah.
I'm gonna need trolls. So Ensign Zed, Lieutenant Karev, not Lieutenant Karev, but Ensign Boots, Master Chief Boots, excuse me, and Lieutenant Paris. I need you all to roll me a fitness security. Fitness security, difficulty of 1. If you have phaser use, hand-to-hand combat, you guys are having to fight off a number of these creatures right now. Damn, Ensign! Mitana.
Oh, you got it right this time.
Let's take that, Fat Adam! Gotcha!
What?
Damn, Boots! Alright, you guys have
And Paris.
you have a shit ton of floating momentum, by the way. You
Yeah,
guys are
because
capped on momentum, and you have a bunch of it to spend. So, Commander Ajay, if you wanna just like spend a crap ton of momentum.
Yeah, I'm not Ajay right now, but
That's what I said. Ensign. I say your name right once, and then I totally screwed up afterwards. Ensign Mitana. There it is. Ensign Mitana. If you want to spend a crap ton of momentum, you are welcome to do so.
yeah. Okay, so how many? I only get 4 challenge dice. It looks like
As of
a
right now,
base.
yes.
But you
But I'm
were
going-
2 over, so you've got 2 floating momentum.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
Plus,
let's spend.
what was the difficulty?
Difficulty
for
of
those 50
1
caps?
for all of them. So I think you guys
So
are
yeah,
at like
we have 4 above the cap.
All right, I'm gonna
so-
spend all 4 of them and roll 8 challenge dice.
done.
Good call.
Gods be good.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the thing. If you want to give me 1 additional momentum, I will let you have 2 breakthroughs. And you'll complete
Don't do
Yes.
it. Don't do it. He's
No.
forgotten how extended tasks work.
Oh.
Once we hit the top of the work track, any additional work is just a breakthrough anyway. So you actually hit the 15, and then at 7 or 6,
Come
and then
on, give me that momentum.
four-
Give me that momentum.
No, no,
Damn
no,
you.
no, 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 no.
I would have gotten away for it too if it wasn't for you blasted captain. Oh, well played, Brian. Well played. Yes. So you make the breakthrough, and your device sends out this kind of electrical pulse, and you watch as it's really like a Tesla coil. And there is this kind of dome that kind of sparks up, so it shoots up, and then there's energy field, like it hits a pinnacle, and then it comes down like a domed kind of electrical field around the party, and you watch as these creatures start jumping on it, like, and you guys have a walking dome now that you can move with and towards an unknown destination at this point.
Hmm.
Now here's the bad news.
All right.
I'm gonna spend 3 threat.
Yeah.
The device only has enough power to last for an hour.
We've got to find those doors as quickly
Lieutenant,
as possible.
your tricorder is still recorded where we arrived, yes?
Yes, Cap.
We need to head towards the center of whatever territory these marsupials claim. So we're looking for some sort of door. You direct us back to where we went. I'll set my tricorder to look for any unusual architectural designs in the ground.
Now, DM.
Yes, me.
With the scan I did earlier, can I already have an idea in which direction to go?
Absolutely. You know exactly where those marsupials seem to be congregating. That is where this old recording from this unknown alien species indicated that this vault, this door, whatever it is, that's where it was located.
I think, Captain, we don't even need to go back to where we arrived. We could just simply go in this direction, and that's where the concentration is the highest of these marsupials.
Lieutenant, I think we're going to have a talk about how often you question my orders on an away mission, but you make a good point. So if you feel like you have a better direction, we can head that way.
I did not mean to question your orders, sir. I only pointed out
after the away mission, Lieutenant.
You have 58
That was
minutes
questioning
left
his
of
orders
power.
anyways.
58 minutes left of power. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So you guys head off with Wild Abandon. Now, I'm going to give you guys another bargain. You can make a fitness medicine check, difficulty of 2, to get there within 10 minutes. Or you can take your time, and it's going to take you 20 minutes. How long would you like to take? Or if you fail this check, if anyone fails the check, you'll run out of breath, and it'll take you 30 minutes to get there.
Can I make a fitness command?
Sure.
Yeah. I'm way better at those.
If anyone fails, though, it's gonna take you 30 minutes of your 58 remaining minutes to get there.
I am going to spend a momentum to roll a third dice. I am also going to argue that composure means
Done.
As a focus allows
Done.
me to
Done. So you guys are rushing. You're hoofing it, is what I'm hearing from the group. You guys are gonna hoof it.
So all of us have to roll this.
Yes, all of you have to roll this.
Okay.
So you said fitness security?
Ooh, there's one. Yeah, gotcha. You got it, buddy. You got it. No, fitness medicine.
Fitness.
Fitness medicine.
Okay.
Fitness med.
I'm going to re-roll one of those d20s because I am allowed to do that because I have cautious command and I spent a momentum to roll to buy one of those d20s. One, two, three. Hey, I got 2 momentum back. So there's a floating momentum there if anybody wants.
I'm gonna use that floating momentum to roll 3 dice.
Okay.
Love it.
Could
We're
emergency...
aiming for how
2.
high?
2.
2.
I would also like to use some momentum.
Right on. If anybody else is concerned, we have lots of momentum.
Could emergency medicine be used to
Yes,
focus?
absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, Ensign! Oh, oh.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
are carrying
that's
this
kind of what I
heavy
expected to
electrical
happen.
device. That is unfortunate.
Oh.
That is unfortunate.
That's kind of what I expected.
Can I assist her?
You know what? I'll allow it.
Since using command, it'll only let me roll one.
You would
but
have to roll a critical.
I know. But whenever you assist another character using your command discipline, the character being assisted may re-roll one of her d20s.
Oh, that's right.
There's one.
And I gave her one. So
What's gonna happen? I'm nervous. I don't want the
I
away
am
mission to get
too.
eaten.
So I will.
Let's go, Zerd! Oh no!
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 Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. All right.
No.
So bad news
No.
is that Ensign Matana.
before, you know what? As soon as she starts to fall behind, Captain Traso takes his comm badge off, grabs hers, slaps his on her, and then gives it the special tap, takes the machine from her, and then she beams up to the ship. So we don't get slowed down.
Oh,
Because
bye.
I have that one-time special use on that comm badge.
You
so we can
do.
only take 10
You do
minutes.
have that one-time special use that cuts through everything. That is true. So you watch as Ensign Matana is starting to run out of breath. She almost drops it. There's that horde of creatures that keep like jumping into the electrical Tesla coil field around you guys. Lieutenant Paris is just, that one sprint that he did, he's just balls out, just fucking running like a champ. Boots is
I
a
haven't
cat
rolled
person.
or done anything yet, by the way.
Oh well, I don't know. I'm assuming. I'm manifesting it. Manifest. So Boots is running. Zed is running. Captain's running. You start to trip. The captain catches your arm, Ensign Matana. I've got it right now. I have to think about it every time, but I got it. He takes off his comm badge, slaps his onto yours, clicks the back side of the button, and there is this kind of wavering, and then you just don't even like transport. There's not that blue glow. You just blip, and you are gone. And then you find yourself back in on board the Ragnar, transporter room 2, just kind of smoking a little bit, like there's like steam coming off of you, and there's a transport operator right there. He goes, "How the hell did you? We've been trying to reach you. We haven't been able to get a lock. We thought you were. Where's the captain?" And we're gonna leave that there because I think that's hilarious. I'm not gonna let you respond. But
So
Captain,
I'm gonna use my. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, please.
I'm just gonna use my determination on once at Paris, always at Paris,
done.
to get those 2 successes, because my 1 in medicine is my Achilles heel.
Ooh, there it is. There it is. There it is.
Oof.
Do I still need to roll though?
You do
No,
still roll.
well, you can, but because you can get us momentum now.
Or it can get complications, right?
That's
I
true.
love that,
You still have to
Karev.
roll.
By the way, Drew, I just saw
Thank
your
you.
message. I think we'll probably bring that up next session. Just FYI,
Yeah,
because I think this is going to be pretty self-contained down on the planet side.
Yep.
All right.
No issues. I just wanted
Appreciate
you to
you.
know what the plan was.
So yeah, no, just booking it with the.
You do still have to roll.
You do still have to roll.
Oh, I have to roll.
Yes.
You have to roll.
No. Because I asked and there was a yes and a no, so it was like.
Yes, you have to roll.
This is not gonna go well.
I mean, you can only get a complication on a 20. Like you're fine.
Yeah.
As he rolls 2 20s.
No,
Ooh.
see, he's fine.
Oh, there's a 19
But you did roll a
there.
19.
Come on. So close. I'm gonna spend a threat to increase the difficulty to. No, I'm just kidding. That's terrible. Can't do that, folks. All right, so you all hoof it. You hoof it. You're running. Creatures are bouncing off. They're electrocuting themselves. You're almost out of breath, and then Captain Traso. It's kind of hard to see where you're going because there's this electrical Tesla coil field around you, but you're following the tricorder. Lieutenant Paris is guiding the way because he had the scan. Zed, you are, with your phaser ready. Boots, you have your claws out. I don't know, your tail's floofed, but you crunch something under your foot, Captain Traso. You're out in front, and you look down. It looks to be kind of like a little nest, nest made of, some branches. There's maybe some like fur and like little bits of like tuff, and you don't see anything in the nest. But you notice that just beyond the nest, there's a couple of these tiny little holes, almost look like prairie dog holes. And as you just kind of squint your eyes and look through, you see what appears to be a slightly raised dais, like a little raised platform. And you see this very bright green and red, what looks like paint on this, looks like a silo. It looks like there's a silo there, like this massive silo door. And when I say massive, it's about 60 feet in diameter. So the circumference of about 120 feet. It's very big. And, I mean, you can only presume that's probably the door that you're looking for.
All right, Lieutenant, Ensign, Chief, how do we get in?
We can phaser the top layer.
I would rather do as little damage to this as we are capable of doing. I would hate to damage whatever it is
covered
that's
in certain stuff, right? Like we only see the holes. DM, is that what I understood? Like we.
So is it flat like a missile silo?
Yes.
Like a big manhole kind of thing?
But it's covered in with the nests and the stuff.
There's a couple nests over it and whatnot, yeah.
Okay, sorry, then I misunderstood. All right.
No worries. That's why we ask questions.
I understood that we arrived and it was covered and we only saw something because there was a hole.
No. There's holes in the ground around it, like the prairie dog holes, so these creatures are likely burrowing around this thing, but but the silo itself is intact. Does that make more sense?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying.
All right, so just a little rewind on that, and it's like, okay, starting to scare.
Yeah. So we'll have tricorders out.
Yep.
So
Tricorders.
you know that weird radiation, that weird like thing that's blocking warp travel? Yeah, it's super strong at this location. This is definitely where it's coming from.
All right, how do we get in though? That's the fun part, right? Can we scan for that?
Yeah. Insight engineering. Difficulty of 2.
And I'll assist then, because that's more your stuff, Charlesy boy.
All right. Insight plus engineering. Eh?
By the
Use some
way,
of that momentum.
Sidereal Day, you as the first
Yeah.
officer are having a conversation with yourself as the ensign about what's going on down on the planet side. That's happening in the background.
Oh, and Zed would like to spend a momentum for an extra die, if that's okay.
It's not allowed.
Yep.
Can't do that.
I mean, you can spend even more if you want even more.
You're not allowed to spend momentum. It's not an aspect of this game.
Hey,
Oh,
hey.
do we have enough for me to get 4
Oh yeah.
dice?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Zed will do it. Seems
Absolutely.
very important.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
Don't forget, you can re-roll with your cautious.
With what?
Ooh.
You have the talent cautious engineer now.
Oh, I do. Yes. I often forget about that.
All right. So,
So-
your first check did have a complication, which you'll have to re-roll because you do have the cautious.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Go for it. Dunsky. So you get 2 momentum back, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And one more because I assist. And
You
I
did.
also get a success.
So that is 3 momentum back, which is fantastic. So, here's the good news. There is literally a little raised, like, console with a big red button on it. And based on your ratings, big red button probably opens that door.
Make
What?
Gusta.
I'm waiting for the butt.
It seems curious that the oh well I suppose the other aliens at the crater were not able to get this far, but it appears that this button may open it. Shall I, Captain?
Certainly.
Plop, 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 and the silo begins to open. There's this like gas, like that white smoke shoots up out of it, and you watch as the silo retracts. There's this groaning sound as the gears of this door start to open, and you watch as what looks to be the head of a nuclear type kind of missile starts to raise up and out of this platform. Those readings of that like disruption of warp space are off the charts right now, Paris. Off the charts. And you watch as this starts to kind of rise up, and from inside of the missile, in this alien type language, you hear this knock, tok, teek, knock, dula, kick,
I bring my back.
Kora.
I bring back.
The universal translator starts to kick on. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7.
Perhaps we should retreat
boy.
to a safer
Okay.
distance.
The blast, you
should
see like the
run.
flames start to shoot up. All of the creatures that were fucking with you, they have bolted. They have absolutely bolted away. And this huge missile starts to take off. And as you are scanning it, Paris, you hear it. Go ahead.
Wait. As it pops out, Captain Traso takes that line that they all have attached to their belts.
Yeah.
So when they go on away missions, he unclips it and then hooks it to the thing and goes, "Somebody's got to stop this radiation, or we're never leaving." And so he clips himself to the missile, and as it starts to take off, he just locks it in place and starts fiddling with his tricorder.
So
Hey, Captain. Hey, Brian, do you have a backup character?
I sure do.
All right. So the captain runs up to the missile, flames shooting out,
Captain, what are you doing?
and starts
No,
to
come
fuck with his tricorder. As this thing slowly starts to rise, you hear that as his little cord is starting to like uncoil. What are the rest of you doing?
Captain, are you certain that this is the wisest course of action?
Yes, if I can manage to recalibrate the nanopositronic gradient grid, I should be able to have my tricorder generate a localized distortion field that should keep the radiation from spreading once the explosion happens, but I'm going to need to affix it somehow. So once the radiation is contained, if you could have the ship get a lock on Ensign Matana's comm badge, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Whoa! And we watch, unless anyone does anything, we watch as the captain is lifted up off the ground as this missile starts to play. So has anyone seen, what's the name of that movie?
So wait. So while the captain and Zed
Dr. Strangelove is the movie you're searching for.
we're talking, Paris clipped himself too.
Yes! Paris and Traso clip themselves with this missile and they take off together. Zed's there going, ah! And the missile takes off. Couple things. It takes off
Ensign?
and it's flying into the air.
My first planet-side mission as chief security officer, and the captain and the science officer tied themselves to a missile.
This is.
All right, Captain Traso.
I knew he was crazy, but
Captain Traso, Lieutenant Paris, you guys are Dr. Strange loving this missile. Yeah.
Paris, what are you doing?
Just flying up into space.
You can't do this
You've
alone,
got
sir.
about 60 seconds.
You can't help me.
You've got about 60 seconds before this thing breaks the atmosphere, and you guys asphyxiate. So, what's your plan here? Because I got nothing. I'm not going to spend any threat. This is going to come down to the dice.
I'm recalibrating my tricorder to emit a distortion field that will contain the radiation. So essentially, I want to have it make a localized force field, just a bubble around radiation, which should disperse it, allow it to disperse.
I love it.
Since now I know that it's on this warhead, but I have to be able to affix it to the warhead, so I had to be within proximity of it to make the bubble be in the right place.
Love it.
I don't know what Paris is doing.
Paris is there to make sure that the missile goes into space.
So
and doesn't come back down.
And
it's heading towards space. In fact,
yes.
It's heading. You know where it's heading?
is it heading right towards the Ragnar?
Absolutely right.
All right.
Yes.
It's heading
That's
directly towards the
missile.
Ragnar. Commander Ajay, you are in engineering. Try to connect, and from the bridge you hear, Commander Ajay, there seems to have been a launch from. That's weird. I'm picking up Ensign Arlen's comm badge and Lieutenant Paris on. Is that a missile?
Transport, grab those two now.
Aye, sir. We're trying to get a lock, but there's too much interference. Oh no! All right, Captain Traso, Lieutenant Paris. Very important roles. I'm gonna be real. I can't make this easy on you. I want you to know this isn't personal. All right. This is gonna be a difficulty 5.
Yeah.
That's his stuff. Like, I'm doing other stuff.
This is a difficulty 5. Lieutenant Paris, your check, also a difficulty 5.
It's fine.
You are strapped to a missile, traveling at like very fast, about to break atmosphere. You guys are gonna get one shot, and if you go out, you went out like badasses. All right, this is what this was all about. Okay, Captain, You're trying to create a force field, correct?
Yep. That's
Control engineering. Are you cool with
Okay.
that?
Yep.
Okay. Then at Paris, you're trying to make sure the missile doesn't hit the Ragnar.
So 2 things. It's opening up the control panel of
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah, you're
missile.
like... You see all these wires, it's all in alien language. There's like purple and green, like goo inside. You're like, what the fuck is this? But you're going to figure it out.
Oh yeah, and that's my shit.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just rewire enough so that it no longer targets anything and just goes into space.
Goes into the vacuum of space. I love it.
Vacuum of
I love it.
space.
Back on planet side, Ensign Zed and Boots, Master Chief Boots, are just watching this missile fly into space. It's
Well, we're all Zed's also trying to contact the ship.
You
and
actually
try and
can,
bolster-
at this point, contact the ship as
Yes.
the source of the radiation seems to have moved off planet, and it seems to be like, almost seems like the field is sucking itself
yeah.
towards the missile head.
Right.
Like the missile is like dragging the field with it. It's weird. Yeah, so you get a, oh, it's inside, you're still alive. Hey, yeah, things are a little crazy up here. Are the Captain
Patch me
Lieutenant
in.
Perry strapped to a warhead?
Affirmative.
Some chief of security you are.
Try to come in.
Yeah, we'll get you back on board. Commander Ajay wants to have a word with you.
No, the
I don't have
captain
a
is
name
trying
for
to-
this sassy transport operator, but we're gonna have to make him a character at some point.
The captain is trying to do something with the missile.
Yeah,
Try your best to communicate with him through Ensign Arlen's communicator.
yep, way ahead of you.
And then transport him out on his mark.
Yep, someone's got to save the day. Ain't gonna be you. Anyway, Ensign! And then it cuts off because we don't have a name for him yet.
He looks over. He says, "Who was that transport chief?"
All
I
right,
don't
Captain.
know, but
Captain. Oh, no,
Okay.
go ahead, Boots, please.
no, hey, I don't know, but and then cut.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Back on the ship. So Captain, imagine this is all yours. Just running. You hear Paris popping a panel. Like he's just ka-dunk, ka-dunk, ka-dunk as you're getting just tossed around. Captain Treso, I think we're gonna have you make your check first.
All right. I'm gonna spend my determination
Yeah, oh, good point.
for the 2 free successes.
Beautiful.
I will tap my value of improvisation as the soul of exploration,
Love it.
because this seems like a pretty improvisational moment.
I think it is.
I'm going to spend all 5 of our momentum because I don't know, theoretically, that I don't know what Paris is doing. So yeah, I spend all 5 of our momentum so I can roll 4 more dice. And you said control engineering, yeah?
You got it, brother.
Perfect. That's how that goes. And can I use a focus of experimental technology?
100%.
Perfect. Well then. Well, bam. 6 successes.
Ooh, you get a momentum right back. That's good. That's good.
All right.
That's good. That's good.
So yeah, the captain finishes programming the tricorder, initiates the field, uses the magnet grip to plop it onto the paneling, and then just releases the lock on the thing. And so that and starts tapping his comm badge super fast so that as soon as
No. It's like,
Go for me now, go for me now.
yeah, we got you, Captain. Hold on. You're falling really fast and energized. And Paris, you're still strapped to the missile. You got about 30 seconds before it breaks the atmosphere. You watch as the captain releases
logically
himself,
would have been at
falls
the same
off.
Time, but whatever.
He falls off, right? And you've got just a couple seconds. Maybe you can do it together. I don't know. But I think it's funny if the captain lets go first. That's just my opinion.
Well, that's
Go ahead.
fine.
That's fine. And Captain goes, and disappears, and you're back on the Ragnar, which is great. Lieutenant Paris.
Slam to the ground.
Lieutenant Paris. What do we got for us?
All right. So I am going to challenge my once a Paris, all is a Paris to get a determination back,
I love it.
which I'll use on creating your own path.
Love
So I
it.
get my 2 for success, free successes.
So you're gonna do a control.
So I'm gonna do a daring.
Daring.
Security
I like daring. Daring security will work. I'm
Daring
good with that. I'm
security.
good with daring security. That's fine.
with improvisation,
Done.
because I am gonna rewire the shit out of this.
Yeah, it's sticky. It's very sticky. It's like seems to be like half organic.
That's
kinda
actually
gross.
cool. And I would
Smells
love to
like
spend more
smells.
time with you, but right now.
I'd love to spend more time with you. There's like an eyeball inside. It
And
winks at you. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. It's not real.
Got his whole head and shoulder like jammed in so we can see and move.
So that gives me 2 successes. So one die. So to get 2 more die, I'd have to spend 5, right?
5, yeah. So we have 1 momentum, and then you can give him 4 threat.
I'll take it. I'm not going to spend any threat to fuck with you guys right here. Go for it.
All right.
The dice will tell us if Lieutenant Paris survives. God, I hope so.
Hey!
Oh,
Look at that.
7 successes, baby.
Let's go! Oh my god! It's crazy. It's just the bells go off, and you just like shove your hand in. You're rewiring some stuff. You actually hear this like internal mechanism. Why they would put a voice box inside the missile that's launched, we don't know. But you hear the detonation in 30, 29, 20.
Oh shit!
Rerouting, and you feel the missile like pivot away from the Ragnar. It misses by a snail's hair, and you fall back as you watch it go up, and then a moment later you are transported, and you arrive right next to the captain. And I think our final scene is going to be the captain and Lieutenant Paris sitting up together, and I just want to give you both a moment. As Commander Ajay, you arrive in Transporter Room 2. Cheeky transporter officer looks over and says, "Got him."
Take him a break. Leave.
I think.
And then
I
leaves.
think.
Med bay.
I
Both
think.
of
The captain is picking me up very angrily because.
No. Honestly, the captain is like, listen. Under ordinary circumstances, I would have to reprimand you for what you just did. But honestly, we were kind of shoulder to shoulder. So I think on this one, we're going to give you a pass.
I'm just like laying there.
But Paris,
What
if you
did I
ever
just
strap
do?
yourself to another missile at the same time as me, I will have you court-martialed.
Hashtag things I said in Star Trek tonight.
And end scene with everyone
Just
laughing,
Hagen.
freeze frame.
and just me in the background. Just don't tell Hagen.
Oh.
Oh, it's cute that you think you're going to avoid med
Oh,
bay.
like in the med bay, and he's gonna be like, "You did what? With who?
So cute. You think you're
Just-
avoiding med bay.
You bitch." And I think our final scene is Commander Ajay escorting the 2 insane people away as
They're
Ensign
both going
Zed
straight to
and
medical.
and Master Chief Boots are transported back. The Ragnar is able to pivot away, head back to warp, and continue to explore the unknown reaches of the Shackleton Expanse. Absolutely wonderful session, everybody. I had a great time. Very, very good time.
Yeah.
That was...
I suspect that might be the last time Captain Treso ever gets to go on an away mission.
I mean, he basically saved the day.
I mean,
Yes, but
But
Paris,
what
Paris, what were you going to say?
and probably Paris for a very long time.
Oh my gosh.
We're
Well,
both-
absolutely fantastic job, everybody. I very much enjoyed that. I hope you all had fun. I've really been enjoying these last 2 kind of self-contained little stories. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get with the group here afterwards. We're going to talk about what kind of away mission or what kind of mission we want to have for the next episode. After this, and because we've got episode 8, 9, and 10, so we've got 3 more episodes of season 2, and then the crew and I are going to be talking about, I think we're going to do a season 3. I think everyone is having fun. I think they want to do a season 3, so I think a season 3 is definitely going to happen, and we'll talk about where we're going to go with the story, because I love to collaborate. That's what this game mastering is all about. But as I always say at the end of every session, any final thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns from the crew before we wrap up today's episode? We all did a
Lots of
fantastic job. Just a little shameless plug. If you're not already a subscriber of the channel, it would be great if you could go ahead and drop a follow if you're not already a follower. And if you're feeling a little bit, how do I put this? You're feeling a little charitable, go ahead and drop a subscription as well. Everything that is that goes towards this channel here goes right back into creating more content. I use it to pay for things like Zoom and new modules and, Bri, the surfer mod guy, he is pricey, let me tell you. All right, he's wow, like yeah, it's crazy. Ooh, no, I'm kidding. But no, if you're feeling wonderful, also if you're watching the VOD on YouTube, definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you always stay up to date and everything else. And you'll see these beautiful people back here next Tuesday, same game time, same game place for episode 8 of season 2 of Star Trek Valhalla. But as I always say as well, thank you so much to the players for playing. Thank you so much to the viewers for viewing. Happy gaming, everybody. We'll see you next time, and good night.